Not all lenders are created equal, but their loan products are? I'm Stephen Michalakos, and these are my Thursday thoughts. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Before we get to today's content, just want to first say thank you for watching. Thursday Thoughts is something that I would really like to get started. This is my pilot, and it's just an opportunity for me to quickly rant and just go over some things that are maybe on my mind for either the market of real estate or honestly just for the purpose of maybe explaining some things behind the scenes. So my first Thursday thought ever is less of an abstract thought and more of a concrete story. And I say that because this is actually an engagement that I had with a prospective buyer earlier this week. Came in on a lead form through my website, which is propertiesbysteven.com. Immediately started a great conversation about what he needed in a home, how close to his wife's work that they needed to be, and really kind of honed in on every other aspect of their search. So naturally, as we made good headway, the subject of lending came up, and as soon as I asked him, have you spoken to anybody? Have you started that lending process? Do we know what our budget is, and how constricted are we to a certain numeric range? And he was very proud, and he's like, absolutely, I've got my pre-qualification letter right here on my phone. It's from a quicker company that's nationally televised. So naturally speaking, this guy hasn't really done anything wrong, right? He's in fact done the process correct so far of getting in touch with the lender, making sure he has a pre-qual letter that he's comfortable with, and then getting in touch with somebody like me. You don't necessarily have to do it in that order, but by the classical standards of prioritizing your steps in shopping, they was spot on. But I did something this time that I do with a lot of my buyers is I recommended that he also get another opinion and maybe talk to somebody that has good rapport, not only just in my immediate sphere, but has good rapport within our market in Pinellas County. And I want to make this clear, though, too, is that I don't discourage people from using any other lenders, but I do always encourage that if there's no risk to your credit or anything like that to get that second opinion, why wouldn't you want to just take just another moment to shop, okay? So now that part is all understood and out of the way, I know that he actually took my advice very well and went ahead and called at least one of my contacts that very same day. In fact, probably 15-20 minutes right after we got off the phone, because about an hour later, I got a call from him, and he seemed a little bit confused, if you will. And I say confused as in hey, we just talked, but now I've got a lot more questions. And I love that, all right? But his original question was, I talked to, XYZ mortgage company, and originally what you said was that it would be a great benefit to me to reach out to this guy and, see what they can do differently and how much money they can save me and all the rest of that great stuff, right? So that was his motivation for giving these other people a call and going through the process one more time. Where he got confused was that the lender that I sent him to, and who was totally within the correction of the correct right of saying what he said, was, look, we might save you a little bit of money. Our interest rate's not going to be too different. We have lesser fees, so on closing day you might save a couple $100 on closing fees with us. But no, I mean, we offer the same exact products. And I guess that connection with my buyer, it fizzled immediately, because he says, well, if I've already applied and got my pre-qualification letter with this quicker company, why do I need to get it again with this company if there's going to be no incentive to do it, right? And he's right. He's like, I'm not going to save any money. Like, why would I have to send more information to another guy to do this all over again, right? And I was like, yes, absolutely, you're correct. I mean, there's no reason why we need to keep submitting pay stubs or bringing your social security number up to other lenders if they're not going to save you money. If money is your original motivation, that's totally fine. So why don't we go ahead and reach out to your quicker company, send that pre-qual over, We'll see, what name and phone number's on there, and we'll get them on a 3-way call. Like right now, like I'll bump it up, and we'll see what your options are as far as the product that they're offering, so that we can make our strategy the next time we meet, right? And then there was a long pause. He says, "Oh, well, I have the pre-qualification letter, and it's got everything on there of like, what I can afford and stuff, but like it doesn't have a number or a name. So we can probably just call their office, perhaps." And that's the point. If we're in a high pressure situation, right? Because if we do go shopping, which we are, full through and through, we're going shopping next week. When we go shopping, if there's a house that he likes, there are gonna be 10 other offers, okay? The expediency of today's market is not a secret by any means. So there are gonna be other offers. It's gonna get a little stressful, okay? Do I want to be able to call, let's call him John Doe, at the guy that I recommended, and just pick up his cell phone and say, "Hey, there's a house. This is what we think about offering. Can you get us the letter that we need? And also, can you go ahead and call the listing agent and reassure them that you're on top of everything and put us in first place, please?" Or would you rather try to call this company that you have a letter from already, which is cool, and sit on the phone for 45 minutes while they try to look up your name to pull your information, and then maybe get you a letter? And even then, when we do send it to the listing agent, they're going to say, "This is just something this guy did on his phone in 35 seconds. So how much weight does it really carry? Do we want to spend the same amount of money and get more service, or more of a probable headache and less chances of winning the house? When it comes to putting that lender information on an offer letter and sending it in to a listing agent or even just a seller at that point, make no mistake, they look at who's going to be essentially buying the house, who's going to be funding this, who's going to be coming up with the conditions that the buyer is going to have to meet, right? Because at the end of the day, all they're worried about is, what is the propensity of this person actually closing on this? It's one thing to accept an offer and to go through inspections and foot around of what we get to do next and what our performance measures are supposed to be within a contract. But if we take this offer, we want it to close, okay? We're not going to sit here and take 14 backups and worry about what's next and funnel through all these people. Whatever offer we take, we want to make sure it's just going to close and that we can move on to our next house, because we've got other stuff to do, right? So my Thursday thought is, if you're shopping in your area, if you're thinking about getting pre-qualified and looking to compete in today's market, please, if you do decide to go with a big box lender, that's great. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But also, check out somebody that's maybe down the street where you can maybe walk into their office or get their cell phone number, or really just rely on them as an ally, the same way that you wouldn't really want me to be your agent if we're 10,000 miles apart. It does require a human connection, and it does require a lot of rapport, and especially in today's market, a name really does mean something. All right, so this has been my first Thursday thought. If you took something away of value from this, drop me a like or a comment down below of what you liked. Hopefully, this is something I'd like to really be able to do every single week, as it's a really good opportunity for me to just kind of get some of this stuff out there. If there's a topic you'd like to hear more about, or a question that you have of real estate, please inbox me. We're really looking forward to getting that engagement from you all. Next week, we're going to be talking about when it's appropriate to use Zillow and what their information is truly used for. And, have a fantastic weekend until then, and I'll see you next Thursday.